Howdy, everybody. This is David Sanchez, and this is episode number 17 of the Riffs or Die podcast for January 22, 2021. On this episode, I have one of my good friends. I love this guy a lot, and I've been playing in a band with him for quite some time. Mr. Pete Weber is on the podcast today, and we had a great talk here, but there are still so many questions I'd like to ask him. So I'll definitely have to get Pete on again here sometime. But there's some good stories from the road and our travels and some good advice that Pete dropped on us. So I hope you guys enjoy. As always, if you would like to support the podcast, you can go to riffsordie.com and pick up some merch. Please show your friends and share it if you dig what you hear. And if you want to support beyond that, you can go to patreon.com/riffsordie. and sign up on the Patreon to get some bonus episodes, discounts in the web store, live Zoom hangouts, handwritten lyrics, and access to the Patreon-only feed. For those of you that are already signed up, thank you very much. Much appreciated. If you want to write into the podcast, you can hit me up at podcast@riffsordie.com. I want to hear wisdom from you guys, some wise words that you have to share, and also any weird, crazy, or funny concert stories that you may have. Start sending in some stories of the funniest or weirdest things you've ever seen at concerts. I would love to read those on here and share them with the world. So write them in, send them to podcast@riffsordie.com. With that, let's dive into this interview. This guy is one of my best friends. Longest running bandmate I've had in the band. He's an amazing musician, and I love this guy a lot. Here is my chat with the one and only Pete Weber. Enjoy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have Mr. Pete Weber, lead drums from the band Havok. Some of you may have heard of Havok. Some of you may have heard of Pete Weber. Weebler, how's it going?
It's going well. How are you, sir?
I'm doing all right, given the circumstances.
Right.
I see that you've been keeping extremely busy playing your drums. Obviously not on tour like we were supposed to. But tell people what you've been doing drum-wise lately.
Yeah, so I was luckily able to take advantage of us not being on tour with using the mics and our Midas console that we usually use for our in-ear rack to start a Twitch channel. And that's been going really well. And I had you mix it for me. It sounds really awesome. So I appreciate that as well. And
yeah, no problem. I like doing that stuff.
Yeah, I know you do. So, but yeah, it's going well. And I'm just about to hit 2,000 followers on there. So it's been fun. Yeah.
If people want to find you on Twitch, what's your handle?
So it's under Pete Weber Drums.
Pete Weber Drums. Weber with two B's.
Yeah, those B's, like the bowler. I always get that. They're like, oh, Pete Weber the bowler.
No.
Yeah, I mean, he was like 80s and 90s, so...
One of the places that you and I have both worked at has a bowling alley on one side of it. Are you good at bowling?
Honestly, I'm not the best bowler. I can because we can bowl for free, so I'll play a game or two here and there, but I mean, I'll start to get half decent and then I just lose it sometimes. I'm not consistent is my problem.
Yeah, I went bowling the other day. The best I did was a total fluke, but I bowled like a 156.
That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, there was a lot of spares and strikes, but it was a fluke. None of the other games were like that.
Yeah, if I get over 100 nowadays, I'm like happy.
Yeah, anything over 100 is pretty good.
Yeah, I think so.
On your Twitch stuff, do you play a lot of Havok music?
Yeah, so now that I have a decent following now, I just do subscriber requests. So a lot of the people on there, know me from Havok. So I all the time, get Havok stuff. I've even done full Havok streams of like that, all the albums besides Burn, like Time Is Up, Unnatural Selection, and Conformicide, and V I've done. So I guess all of them, yeah, besides Burn, I've done entire streams of just that. And then, yeah, I would say at least I'll probably play one or two at least per stream that get requested.
Do you have a favorite song to play from V?
It's tough because we have the one drum playthrough for Phantom Force. I really wanted that one to come out just because it's like super fast and it's like one of the fastest songs we have. That's why I chose that one, but it was tough to choose a second one just because I felt like there's a lot of parts that I like on a lot of the songs, so it was tough to pick.
Every song has very cool drum parts in it, but
yeah. So it was
full.
Yeah, it was hard to pick the second one, so I picked Cosmetic Surgery.
Excellent.
So,
I love the middle of that song. The drums in the middle of that song are insane.
Yeah, it's not easy.
It doesn't sound
It's like
easy.
one of those. No, I mean, it's not that hard. It's like one of those patterns, though, that like I have to just play it and not think, because if I start thinking about it, then it's like gets weird.
Yeah, where the placement of the snare drums are in that one part, and then the ride is completely like independent, not just holding down 16th notes. It's like playing a pattern.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, the hardest part on that for me to do is not that hard, but for some reason it just like kind of messes with my mind, is that the last kick drum before it goes into the 30-second notes on the snare is like really hard to hit for some reason for me.
Interesting.
Because I remember even when we were doing the demos for it, I was having a hard time doing it.
Yeah. I guess you just gotta practice that part. But because the drum part's really fucking cool.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I can do it. It's just, I think it's because I'm going into the faster notes after, and I almost like my foot needs a break or something like that.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Who knows? Something.
Do you have a favorite drum part, like just a drum section from V that's a favorite?
Yeah, I've been listening to Panpsychism a lot, and I think that song in particular, I like the beginning, like the drum the toms with the feet, and then going into like the kind of Philly part before it kicks in. I think that part's like really cool.
Yes. For surely it is. It sounds huge.
Yeah, that'd probably be one of my favorite drum parts on the album. That song in general has some really cool parts. And then there's a break in the middle where we do it's kind of like a drum interlude before like probably the solo section or something like that. It's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the only section, that was like the only thing that I purposely didn't write before we went into Mark's studio, because I wanted to just kind of wing something on that part.
Yeah.
You think of different things when you're in a different atmosphere and stuff,
Yeah, for sure. And something that's like that, where it's just a bunch of fills, I think it's smart to leave it kind of open. Unless you really compose some epic, amazing, best drum fill ever kind of thing.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I'm more of a fan of just like letting things fly sometimes with stuff like that. Because for me, at least as a player, I find that I think of things on the spot better than I do. I wouldn't say better, but just more like just comes easier when I just do it like on the spot for some reason,
You're flowing with muscle memory. Your body mechanics are just kind of improvising with things that are comfortable instead of trying to think too much and trying to execute some premeditated thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're just like going with the flow of what your hands and feet would normally do.
Yep.
Yeah, I like the idea of when bands go into studio and for the drums, do a couple of good takes where you just play it normal and then doing one more take where you just go berserk on the drums and throw in like way too many fills and just change all the fills on purpose. Because every once in a while you're going to accidentally record something really, really great.
Yep, totally.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool way to do it. In the future, I definitely want to do more of that. Like, here's the song, let's play it right a couple times and then just fucking go berserk on fills and stuff on the third take.
Yeah, especially with the drums. I mean, I know for us at least, I'm usually like 95% prepared, so we're done so quick. It probably is not that hard for us to accomplish something like that either.
Yeah, I would love to do that. Next time we go in to record, get what we already had planned down and then just throw like an improvised drum take in there. Because you might play one beat a little bit different or play a fill a little bit different that winds up being way cooler than what we planned on.
Yeah, that sounds like a really cool idea.
It shall be done. So we were supposed to go on tour this year and go to a lot of places, and very obviously that all got canceled.
Yep.
But we've been a lot of very cool places before. I get this question all the time. I'm sure you do too, but do you have like a favorite place that we've been?
Yeah, I personally really liked Australia.
Yeah, Australia is cool.
So, I mean, you obviously know, but probably other people don't know about like when we did the tour with King Parrot, who's from there, and
Desecrator.
Was it Alkira? Desecrator. Okay, yeah. Alkira was the Asian part. That's right.
Yeah, they're another Aussie band that went to some Asian dates with us. But the Aussie tour was with King Parrot and Desecrator.
Okay, cool. Yeah. That was probably like at least, being somewhere wise, one of the coolest places. Just like really warm, nice, like dry weather, and the people were really relaxed, and we got to stay in Byron Bay for like 2 days and hang out on the beach and go to that Wet and Wild Park.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. And, I don't know what that ride was called, but like that pendulum swing that we got to ride for free.
Yeah, that giant swing. It's for people that don't know what we're talking about. It's kind of one of those big arches where they pull you up. They put you like in a suit that's tethered to a line, and they hoist you up in this like slingshot kind of a thing. And then you pull the ripcord and you just free fall for a second and then start swinging on this gigantic pendulum swing. And it can be 1, 2, or 3 people in it. That was super fun. And they let us ride it for free.
Yeah, it was probably the scariest thing I've ever done in my entire life. So I did it with Rob, who was our tour manager. Well, didn't he tell the staff that we were like the Deftones in Arcade Fire, something like that?
Yeah. He said that we were the Deftones, and they hooked us up and got us all in there for free and let us ride all of the rides, even the ones that cost money, for free the whole day. So sorry, Wet and Wild, but we had a great time. So
it was awesome.
We're giving you some free advertising right now. So thanks a lot for hooking us up. The Deftones here.
Yeah, I've never hugged a man's arm so tight as I did on that.
Yeah, that first second when you have the free fall and the zero gravity feeling is terrifying. It's not so scary once you actually start swinging.
No, yeah, it's just that initial fall. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was the idiot that decided that I would pull the ripcord too, and when we got to the top, I like couldn't move my body because I didn't want to like move my arm to pull it. And Rob's like, pull the damn cord, pull the damn cord.
Yeah,
but
on that, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it was like very scary, just even moving my arm to get to the ripcord.
Yeah, especially the first time. The first time was easily the scariest.
Yeah, I couldn't do it a second. My heart literally would have fell out of my chest.
That day, I went and rode it like 6 times.
Yeah, I
They
know.
were letting us do it for free, so I did it a bunch because if we didn't have that hookup, it would have cost like $30 every time you wanted to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and then other than that, from that trip, the other cities were cool to visit. Just like we had a good time in Brisbane. I remember after the show, we got taken to that bar to get pizza, and we couldn't stay very long.
Right?
But yeah, and then there was another one in Brisbane that we only could stay for like 20 minutes.
Oh, yes, I remember.
That would have been cool to have stayed longer, but it was a good time.
Yeah, Australia is cool, and the people are very laid back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone's kind of chill, and one of my favorite things about Australian people, when they're talking about things, they often will preempt a statement with "How good is blank?" instead of being like, "Oh man, that thing sucks so bad." They don't really talk about stuff that sucks. They're usually talking about how good is peanut butter and jelly. How good is today outside?
And they love the word legend.
Fucking legend.
Fucking legend, mate.
How good is the word legend?
It's amazing. I love it.
That sounds like a very Australian phrase.
All right.
Yeah, Australia was really cool. I really enjoyed it there as well. I loved Japan too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Super cool place. It's really beautiful.
So the guy that brought us, his name was Bennett, and he drove us through each city, and he played this album from this rapper Juicy J over and over and over again the whole trip for like, what was it, 5 days straight or something?
We were there for 9 days.
Was it that long?
Yeah. And he kept playing Stay Trippy.
Yeah. It was like every time I would wake up in the van, it's just like the same song over and over again. I'm like, Bennett, how are you listening to this still?
There's some funny songs on that. But he was super cool. Yeah, we had a great time in Japan. We were out there with Rotting Christ, Angelus Apatrida, Vride, and who were the other bands that were on that run? There was one more or two more. It was a fucking stacked bill. And
Angelus was. Did you say Angelus already?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know who else besides Breed was on it.
But we didn't really hang out with the other bands that much because we weren't traveling with them. We were alone with the promoter in his vehicle, and all the other bands were in a different vehicle.
Yeah, so, that was like very, very lucky that he did that for.
Yeah, it was interesting that we weren't all together, and there wasn't even two bands together. It was just us and then everybody else.
I know.
So everyone else was like hanging out and like broing down with other band members from other countries and stuff during the drives every day, and we were just like by ourselves with the promoter, which I'm not complaining. We had a great time, but we missed on some of the fun of touring with other bands. You know, being in a foreign place and being in the same vehicle and get to hang out and talk with people.
Very true.
That is the one huge advantage of not being like on a bus. Like when we're in Europe, when we have to drive in the daytime, you do get to see some really cool stuff.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, which when you're on a bus, you're probably sleeping the whole time.
Yeah, and even if you weren't sleeping, it's all dark. You can't really see anything.
True, right.
Remember the first time, I think it was the first time we were in Italy. We were driving in the daytime, driving through northern Italy, like through the Italian Alps. Do you remember how fucking crazy the scenery was?
Oh yeah, that was insane.
Yeah, that was still to this day one of the like gnarliest, most epic places I've ever seen in my whole life. When we were playing with Fear Factory.
Oh yeah,
we played with them twice in Italy. I think it might have been on that tour.
Yeah, you're right. It could have been. I was just talking about that the other day, actually on my Twitch show, because somehow Dino came up and I was telling the story about how we played those shows and how we had to borrow their gear, and Dimitri, our old manager, supposed to tell them that we needed to borrow gear, and they had no idea, but thank God they let us use their gear.
Oh my God. Yes. What a nightmare. Show up with no gear and say like, oh yeah, we're using your gear. And they're like, no one told us that. No, you're not. Oh, fuck.
Yeah. And so playing Mike's kit was like fine to play, remember, but his, he had his crash cymbals like super low and right over the top of his toms. So I could only get like a 2-inch hit off the toms, which normally like I'm kind of like a swingy player. It was like, oh my God, very difficult to get through that show.
Yeah, and I remember I had to run through Dino's rig, and it was not my sound like at all.
Yeah.
I remember that pretty well.
They were pretty cool shows, I remember.
Yeah, they were great shows.
Yeah.
Great shows. We've played a lot of really cool places with a lot of really cool bands, and I think about it all the time, how lucky we are to have gotten to see so much of the world and do all of it just because we play in a heavy metal band. That's still mind-blowing to me.
Yeah, it's amazing.
We're super lucky, and fuck, man, with the way things are now, I'm not sure that people younger than us that are trying to do what we do and tour the world and stuff, I don't know if it's even going to happen. It might come all back roaring, and I hope that it does, but things have gotten so weird that it wouldn't be unthinkable to me that touring as we knew it never comes back.
Yeah, I mean, the way it was, yeah, it's very plausible that, I mean, in any case, it will be a little different just because of what happened. In whatever way it is, it will be a little different forever.
Yeah, it's totally crazy. We're super lucky that we got to experience some of it before all of this lockdown stuff and all of the travel bans and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like it would make it easier for them to just, for something like that to happen again or something, you know?
What do you mean? Like if they open things up, then the pandemic would fire back?
Yeah,
up?
it's like
what you mean?
Yeah, or something like that, you know, because it's already happened once, you know. I don't know, but who knows, really?
Yeah, we're all on standby mode.
Right. Yep.
Indefinitely.
Yep.
But I know we still have a ton of really great riffs in the riff pile, and I've been dicking around on my bass and my guitar out here a little bit, coming up with a few ideas here and there. Do you ever make a riff pile for drums? Do you ever like record a cool drum beat and just save it on your phone?
I've done more like stuff. So most of the stuff that I think of is normally like when I'm like just sitting there, not actually playing. So I'll kind of like meld it into my phone. But yeah, same kind of thing.
Cool. All right. Well, that's great. Yeah, just even having sometimes even a really simple thing can be super effective.
Absolutely.
A real simple idea. As long as you save it so you don't forget it. It's fun to come back to those things. I have a bunch of videos and voice memos in my phone, and sometimes I'll revisit them after not hearing them for like 3 years. I'm like, oh, shit. Totally forgot I even came up with this. This is a great idea. It's fun to go back in time and rediscover things that you came up with that you had no recollection of doing.
Yep.
Like a sober blackout.
Yeah.
What about some of the gnarliest places we've been? The first one that comes to my mind is Malaysia. When people ask me if we've been to any like odd places or what are some of the most obscure places we played, Malaysia is the first one that comes to mind. Yeah,
dude. Like when we stayed, I forget what city it was, but we stayed in this like, it was supposed to be some kind of motel, but it was like,
wasn't it called Boho Jaru or something?
Yeah, dude, that was it. And we like, the place was like horribly disgusting inside. Like the blankets looked like they had blood on them in our room, and
yeah, they came pre-seasoned.
Yeah, pre-seasoned. Yeah, and then there was like the only thing. we were starving, and the only thing to eat was like this tiny little dude stand outside. And I swear that I ate there was cats everywhere, hundreds and hundreds of cats everywhere. So I swear we were eating like cat nuggets that night.
Yeah, we very well could have been. And I remember we went on a walkabout at nighttime just to like see what was around, and that was a trip.
Yep.
And we were also in the big city there, Kuala Lumpur. And just
that was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, that city was cool. The smaller town that we were in was just
not. Yeah.
It was strange. it wasn't necessarily bad. It was just it had a weird vibe to it. And I'll never forget when we were in hotel rooms. There was always a big arrow on the ceiling pointing you toward Mecca.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'll never forget that. And hearing the call to prayer on the loudspeakers, you were like walking down the sidewalk and you would hear like Islamic prayer chants through loudspeakers.
Yeah, pretty wild. It's different for sure.
Yeah, it's super not regular for us being from the U.S.
Not at all. Yeah, that was cool. But we saw those twin towers there. I forget what they're called, that building there, but that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have like a little statue thing that I got from there.
Oh, nice. I went to Facebook the other day, and there was a memory from, I think now it's got to be 8 years ago, when we went to the Batu Caves there in Malaysia, and we saw that gigantic gold statue.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah,
we had to walk up all those stairs to get to it.
Yeah, to get into the cave. There was tons of bats, that was cool. And it was a gnarly cave. I'm really glad we did that. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was really cool.
And that statue had to have been like 200 feet tall.
No kidding. It's massive.
It was so big. I'm really glad when we have days off and we're being hosted by a promoter that is down to show us things like that, instead of just like, here's a day off, you guys want to just chill in the hotel, sounds good, see ya. I like it when our host or the promoter or whatever says like, hey, do you guys want to go do this thing? Like, you're here now. And I know your attitude is much like mine, like, yeah, I don't know when I'm ever gonna fucking be here again, let's go.
Absolutely. Yeah, because half the times we can do this stuff for free too.
Yeah, and we have a guide, we have wheels, we have someone that knows the local language, someone that has currency, cash on them. You know, I'm always down to take advantage of those opportunities to be shown around by a local on days off. And I'm super glad that we went and did that, because we've not been back to Malaysia since, and who knows if we'll ever be going back there. So
yep.
Anytime we're in exotic places or just, you know, places I've never been, I always try to get out as much as possible and at least go for a walk, even if we don't have a day off after loading. It's fun to just walk around even for an hour just to kind of get a vibe of where you are. I remember doing that.
I mean,
go ahead.
We've seen a lot of cool, I was just going to say, we've seen a lot of cool stuff. Like, I mean, all the temples in Mexico City, and trying to think what else, but that just popped in my head for some reason. But
we've seen the pyramids in Mexico City at Teotihuacan. We've seen some really cool temples in Japan. We went to the Batu Caves in Malaysia and saw that incredible, gigantic golden statue.
Yep. Oh, what about that waterfall place that we were in South America? That was really awesome.
Yeah, Foz de Iguaçu. It was on the border of like Brazil and Argentina and
like Paraguay or something.
Maybe, yeah. I can't remember, but it's like right on the border of 3 countries, and that was fucking insane. Walking around and seeing like 300 waterfalls all raging at the same time.
That was probably one of the coolest things that we've ever seen, or at least that I feel like I've seen before.
Yeah, for sure. It was amazing. Super cool.
Really, You could like walk right basically in the fucking waterfalls too.
Yeah, they had like the walkway. That was almost like a bridge that didn't connect to another side. And you could just go out on this walkway and stand basically on a waterfall. Right before the water goes over the fall, actually.
Right. Yeah,
but
that was
it was
so
like
cool.
it was like Niagara Falls, except Niagara is super impressive because it's just like this big horseshoe kind of. There's only 2 gigantic falls, and they're very impressive. But that Foz de Iguaçu, there was no gigantic one like Niagara. It was just hundreds of smaller ones. But even at that, like I remember the noise. It was loud as fuck. There was so much water, and it was moving fast, super fast.
Yeah, it was really awesome. I mean, they're all kind of like they're all connecting to each other and stuff too.
Yeah, and we came. I think we were there in the spring, so a lot of like the sediment and stuff was flushing out. And so when we were there, all the water was brown. But I've seen photos of it at other times of the year, and it's more clear.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't always look brown like it did when we were there. But I think of
Interesting.
that, and I mean, like when we go to Europe, you know, it's super common to see buildings that are older than the United States of America. And I know we've gone on plenty of walkabouts in European towns and seen all kinds of cool shit, castles, gigantic cathedrals. That stuff is always really fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say earlier, Europe is probably like my favorite place to go outside of the U.S. just because like we always get fed really well, and you know there's tons of things to see because you're in a new city every day, in a new country basically every day, and yeah, it feels comfortable there for some reason.
Well, they treat bands really well, and generally, most of the people that you're interacting with speak English.
That too. Yeah, that does help.
Yeah, I think that's a huge part of it. They speak English and they treat bands really well. So bands are not bummed when they're there, you know?
Yep.
They feed you lunch when you get there. And then before, during, and after the show, there's like a window there where they serve hot food for dinner. And then after the show, they typically wrap up everything that was left over from dinner and lunch and send you off with it, which is so not usual in the U.S.
I know. Or they give you like the whole plate of sandwiches too.
Yeah, absolutely. Send you off with sandwiches for the night. It's so great. Compared to like the U.S., it's most typical to just have the promoter be like, here's $7 for every band member. Knock yourself out. See you later.
Yeah, welcome to Subway.
Yes. Yeah, I like it when we're playing shows in the European cities, like more toward the city center.
Yeah, totally.
Sometimes we're in like a suburban industrial kind of area and there's nothing around, and sometimes there's a cool park there you could go walk or run around or whatever, but when you're in like an industrial area and there's nowhere to walk to, it's kind of a bummer, but we're there to work. It's just a lot more pleasurable to do that work when you can go and explore and have a good time in the in between lunch and showtime.
Yep, absolutely.
But you said you like Europe. Are there any specific countries that you find yourself in love with more than others?
Really like we always play that city Ljubljana, Slovenia.
Yeah.
That's a cool city. It's got like all the dragon statues around the city and stuff. And it's usually not too far of a walk from where we play to get down to the city center.
Yeah, whenever we play in that town, we're normally in a good location to go explore.
Yeah. And I always like Germany. Food's really good there. People are really nice. And what else?
At the end of that one European tour, you and I stayed extra after the tour. And remember, we went to Nürburgring and did some race car shit.
Yep. So yeah, it'd been a racetrack I'd always played on, like Gran Turismo and stuff, and I found out I think just one year looking, it was only like an hour and 20 minutes from the Frankfurt airport where we always 95% of the time fly into.
Mm-hmm.
So we rented a car and went out there, and then I rented this like souped up Toyota, and I did a lap with the first lap you had to do with the guy who we rented the car from at the hotel there, Apex it's called. But that was cool. And I found out after the fact that guy has like one of the biggest YouTube channels of like in Germany from just doing videos from the Nürburgring.
Wow. And you drove what was that car? A Toyota Supra or something?
No, it was a Toyota 86. But I mean, it's not that crazy of a car stock, but they had it rebuilt and like had a full roll cage and had semi-slick tires on it. So yeah, it was built to, get beat on the track for sure.
Yeah. That thing was super fun.
Yep.
Driving fast is a blast.
Yeah. I mean, it only takes, it goes by so fast. It takes it's a really long course comparatively to like a normal racetrack. Cause it's like 11 miles long, but it takes about 8 to 10 minutes to finish the lap. But I remember when we finished, I was like, it felt like 2 seconds just because, it's your first time, your adrenaline's pumping and stuff.
Yeah, and your arms get juiced trying to
absolutely
keep the car on the track.
Yeah. But I didn't want to do any more than that, I remember, because I think every other lap you do after the 2 was like another 50 euros or something.
Right. Next time you're in Germany, you'll just have to rent a car and take it over there.
I'll there's no question in my mind I'm going to do that again next time we go.
Rent a sports car. Rent like a Porsche or one of those sick Audis or Beamers or Mercedes.
I was thinking to get, like BMW M3 or M4. They have those. They're just a little more pricey than what we paid for the one I had.
Right. Yeah, but you also get to drive it out of there and like properly rent the car, Or are you talking about?
I mean,
at the same place. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'd probably rent it from the airport because, I mean, honestly, we went faster on the Autobahn than you could even get on the track.
Yeah, because on the track, they wouldn't let you rip down the straightaway. There's only one straightaway on the track, and you have to pull over to like restart your lap there. They don't let you just punch it.
Yeah, it's kind of stinks, but oh well.
I'm sure they avoid a lot of people rolling their cars after the straightaway by not letting people do that.
Oh, no question about it. That straightaway, you could probably max your car out.
Yeah. I've driven on the Autobahn. The fastest I've ever gone, I was in a Mercedes that I rented, and on one of the areas it had no speed limit. It was totally flat, totally straight, and the road was clear. And I got the car up to like 135 miles an hour.
Nice.
Fucking terrifying. Going that fast is super scary. The whole time when I was going that fast, like I'm white knuckling the steering wheel. I have a death grip on it. And the whole time I'm going that fast, I'm like, okay, like this would be, of course, the time where a fucking squirrel comes out in front of the car or I blow a tire or something stupid like that happens. So I had my fun. It was terrifying. And then when I needed to slow down, I was like totally cool to go back down to a normal speed because I don't think those tires are rated for much faster than that. And just if I didn't have bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck. So the whole time I was going that fast, it was crossing my mind like, oh, a fucking dog or a cat or something is going to walk on the road right in front of me now.
No kidding. That would not be good. But yeah, I mean, the roads in Germany are meant, like you said, they're meant for that speed. And, as long as you have a car that has the right tires and, that's half the battle right there, going speeds like that.
Yeah, driving in Germany is a pleasure because people actually know how to drive and the roads are perfect. Like there's no potholes. They're not all cracked up. They're mint condition, beautiful roads. And you don't ever have anybody, grandma driving, going 5 under the speed limit in the fast lane.
I call them left laners.
Left laners, dude, there are none in Germany. If you're going even 130 miles an hour in the fast lane in Germany, you can't stay in that lane because
Nope.
no doubt somebody else has a faster car and is going to get on your ass and start turning on their blinker, riding your bumper, and start honking their horn, telling you to get the fuck out of their way.
Yeah, you cannot do that. It's dangerous.
Super dangerous.
So, I mean, even here in the U.S., it should be. I mean, it is illegal, but people don't. They think it's like that's like a joke or something. I don't know.
People, I just think people don't even know the rule. I don't think that people know that the left lane is for passing people. I think they just see it like there's 3 lanes. That means I can drive in any of the 3. Here we go. Woo!
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but I mean, you and I have put thousands and thousands and thousands of miles behind the wheel in America.
Right.
And dude, in my experience, it seems like literally more than 50%. So most of people that are on the road in America don't understand that the left lane is meant for passing people.
Yeah, that's absolutely mind-blowing.
It really feels like that, though, that most people don't get that.
I absolutely agree. I mean, there's signs even on the road.
Left lane for passing only. Yeah, keep right except to pass.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a whole lot of that. But that's one of the things that makes Germany so pleasurable to drive in, because people understand that rule of the road, and you don't get anybody going 5 under the speed limit hanging out in the fast lane.
Yeah, I think driving in general there is a much more like, it's like a more of a privilege there, you know, that people get, because I know it's even really expensive there to buy cars, and they have like really stringent inspections in Germany too. Like you can't have any rust on your car or anything like that. So
yeah, you can't have rust, you can't have dents, you can't have like a shitty, ugly car. It's illegal to have a shitty car.
Right. So yeah, like I said, I think it's more for, you know, it's more of a responsibility and like I said, more of a privilege to, I think, have your license and stuff there.
It's taken more seriously. I know that in some of those countries, it costs like $5,000 to get a driving license. It's not like here where you pay $100 or $200 or whatever, and you're 16. You take a test and you get a license. Over there, like you have to save a lot of money and like be very serious about wanting to get a license. They don't just hand them out like they do here.
Not at all. Yep.
Yeah, that makes a big difference.
Yeah, I mean, even like, because we got pulled over one time in the Sprinter. I forget who was driving us at the time, but they gave the driver a P test right on the side of the road.
When was that?
I think it was Odie, honestly. We were driving like a super long time to get to a hotel. We had like a 12-hour drive, I remember, and we got pulled over. I was in the passenger seat. I remember it was wicked late at night. You guys might have been even sleeping. I don't know. But they took him out of the car and made him pee in a cup right there on the side of the, like we got off in a rest area, but
wow,
it was safe, like where we were. But yeah, I mean, they don't do that here. I've never heard of that.
No. What, do you know what country that was in?
It was in Germany.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Well, sounds like something a German would do.
I know, seriously.
Yeah, Germany's fun. I really like some of the places that we get to go in South America too. South America, I think, is the best place for playing shows. The audiences go the craziest there, and the food is really good, and the people are nice.
Yeah, we got to the last trip we had was an extra day off, and making day or two in Santiago. And that city is really nice, really very like clean comparatively to a lot of other cities down there. Felt like.
Yeah, I think Santiago. Well, I know Chile is like the richest country down there, and I think Santiago might be the richest city in all of South America.
Yeah, that would make sense because it looks it, you know.
I like when we were hanging out there for multiple days off. The first time we had that tour in South America, and we took the tour of the city. Yeah, we got ripped off. by the promoter. But the part that I like to remember is all the dogs and taking that tour around the city.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, there's 500,000 stray dogs in that fucking city. It was crazy. There was just dogs walking around everywhere.
Yeah, that was a long walking tour. I think it was like, what, 4 or 5 hours. And I remember that. Was it the end when we went up that, like, some sort of, like, not a castle, but, like, it was a hill that they built, like, some kind of, like, fortress up there or something.
Yeah, I feel like it was... I remember the end of the tour, it had, like, big stone steps. It almost felt like it was a concert hall or something. Not a concert hall, but what do you call that? An amphitheater.
Yeah. I could totally see that, yeah.
That whole city was pretty fortified. I remember going to the armory right in the middle of the city where they used to keep all the weapons to protect the place.
Yeah, then we went to eat in that crazy hailstorm that happened after.
Yes.
That was nuts.
Yeah, we've been a lot of places. I need to count sometime, but I think we've been to like 70 countries, maybe more, maybe 75.
That would probably make sense, yeah. I wouldn't doubt it.
Been a lot of places, man.
You know who just followed me on Twitch is Angelis Apatria.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
The premier thrash band from Spain, who we've toured with a few times.
They have this new song called Indoctrinate that they have a video for. It's a pretty cool song.
Oh, sweet. I'll have to go check it out. I didn't know they had a new song out.
They have a couple now. This one's like the newest one, but it's really good. Just check it out.
Cool. I will. I like that band a lot. And they're all really good dudes, too.
Absolutely.
Good hangs with those guys.
Lots of hangs, yep.
Let's wrap it up with this.
Yep.
If you could give one piece of advice or wisdom to future generations of people, what would you want to say to them?
I would say, so I've had a few experiences in the past few years. Like my mom was in an accident and my best friend passed away actually just a couple months ago now. And I would say learning from stuff like that, at least, I would say, try to, take advantage of the time you have and with the people that you love and care about and your friends and, whoever it may be. And, try to do things with them and be a good person. And, like I said, just take care of the people that you care about. And maybe for like musicians or something like that, or aspiring artists or anything like that, I would say, just you got to put your all into things and don't waste your time doing stupid stuff and stick to your goals and you can make things happen.
Good advice. I really like your sentiment about spending time with people, though. I often think about that. Love who you do while you can, because
yeah.
You never know. I'm really sorry to hear about your friend, man. I remember hanging out with him.
Chris was a great guy, man.
Yeah. Funny dude.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, but like I said, you just got to take advantage of the time you have with people and create good memories.
Yes. Love who you can while you do. Or love who you do while you can. That's what I meant. Same thing. Same, but different. Yeah, that's good advice for the people out there. Take advantage of your time. Our time here is very, very short, and it could end at any moment. So remember death. That's the old Stoic saying, memento mori, remember death.
Yeah, my license expires this year. I got my Colorado license 10 years ago. And I remember thinking, man, I'm going to be old when I have to renew this thing. I feel like I just said that.
You are old.
I know.
We are old. I was thinking about it the other day. The first time we went to Europe, now on the calendar, first time we went to Europe was 2012. So now on the calendar, that was 9 years ago.
Yeah, that's wild.
You've been in the band on the calendar for 11 years.
Yep, that's nuts.
Super crazy. Yeah, time just flies. And I'm convinced that time accelerates.
There's no question in my mind it does.
Yeah. We're all getting old, so we need to take advantage of the opportunities that we have to do cool things, be excellent to people, and hang out with people that we enjoy. I enjoy hanging out with you. You've been in the band longer than anybody else that's in it, aside from myself. And I remember when you first joined back in 2010, we did that Hammerfall tour.
Yep.
And that was the only tour that you did with Sean, right?
That's correct, yep.
Yeah. Wild. Feels like that was a lifetime ago.
It does. That particular part feels like a long time ago, for sure.
Yeah. So many things have changed since then.
Yeah, I know.
Lineup wise, the way the world works, where the band is on the ladder, you know?
Yeah, everything's changed.
Only thing that's still the same is I'm in the band.
Pretty much.
Me and you are still there.
Yeah, Reese was I think Reese joined like under a year after me too, though.
Yeah, he was there in like August or September of 2010.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, things changed rapidly once you joined. We did the tour with Sean. The next tour that we did, there was no Sean. We did it as a 3-piece. And then shortly after that, Reese joined the band. So there was 3 different like lineups of Havok within the first 6 months that you were in the band.
Yep. Yeah, that's crazy.
3 different incarnations of the band existed in your first half a year with us.
It was nice being in the van with 3 people, though.
Yeah, it was great. Other than the AC didn't work when we were in the middle of Texas in June.
Oh, that's right.
Dude,
oh my god!
You remember everybody was just wearing no shirt, and anytime we would stop to get gas, we were just like peeling our backs off of the seat, and just so stoked to get outside and like get some cold ice or a drink or something.
I'm looking at it right now. We stopped on the way, and I got one of the South Park guys at the inside the little grabber machine.
Yeah, the claw. I remember you got Stan.
Yeah, I have him right here.
That's right.
I've saved him through the years from becoming a dog toy many a times.
Oh, good.
The only one that didn't survive was Apu. I mean, Precious started on Apu.
Yeah,
I think originally.
Old dog, one-eyed dog.
Yeah.
What a bitch. I remember that, though, just rolling 80 miles an hour down the highway with all the windows down.
Oh, so brutal.
Just sweating our dicks off.
So brutal.
No AC.
And you can't, we had such long drives, we couldn't even, I think, have stopped or afforded to even fix it at that time.
No, we didn't have the time. We couldn't afford the money or the time to get it fixed.
Right.
It was, that was a brutal little run there, little stretch. I remember it was June. We were out with Primal Fear.
Don't get too much harder than that time of season.
Especially in Texas.
No kidding.
Yeah, I remember we were in fucking Texas in June with no air conditioner. So when things get kind of bad on the road, like sometimes I just start laughing when something goes wrong because like, what am I going to do? Get mad about it? That's not going to make it any better. So I guess I start laughing because I can think of so many times where I've been in situations that were so much worse. Like that, for instance, not having AC for an entire long stretch through the South in the middle of the summertime.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Yeah. Everything I know about cars, I know from breaking down on tours.
Yep. 4 transmissions in that old van, something like that?
Yep. Yeah, and little pro tip for anybody that's hauling a trailer with like a van, keep it in third gear. We had like, it was an old Chevy. It was a 96 Chevy conversion van, like 1500. And we never blew another transmission after we discovered that you can just keep it in third gear and go down the highway.
Yeah.
You just got to keep it out of that overdrive. You got to keep it out of drive. Just keep it in third gear when you're hauling a trailer, and you will not blow your transmission.
Yeah. Advice from the wise and destroyed.
Yeah, learn from our mistakes. I didn't know, though. I remember I only figured that out because I was helping a band when I was working at a venue. I was loading, helping them, and they had a Chevy 1500 van, and they had a trailer that was way bigger than ours and with way more shit in it. And I asked them, like, do you guys ever chew through your transmission? Because this thing looks really heavy. And they were like, oh, no, not really. And I was like, really? That's amazing, because I have the same kind of van, and we've blown through a lot of transmissions, and our trailer's not even this big. He was like, oh, well, we just keep it in third gear when we're driving down the highway. I'm like, what? You guys can go like 80 miles an hour down the highway in third gear? They were like, yeah, it's kind of loud, but we've never lost a transmission. So,
yeah, I mean, it's going to rev a little higher. You probably eat a little more gas, but you're going to save thousands of dollars of not replacing that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But I had no clue until I asked that band. I'm glad I asked them.
How would you know,
Yeah, and if you've got 1, 2, 3 in drive, you would think, like, I'm going to put it in drive and drive, not put it in third gear, because, it is somewhat scary, especially if you don't have any clue. It is kind of scary when things are revving that high that you might, like, oh, fuck, we're going to blow the engine up or something.
No kidding.
I would have never thought to even try that, but a band told me that they do it. So I was like, they got the same van as me and a bigger trailer than me, and they said it's fine. So that's when we changed that, and we never had a problem with that shit again.
The more you know.
Let's wrap this thing up. Do you have anything you want to say to the listeners before we bail?
Nothing really besides, you can follow my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Pete Weber Drums. You can follow me on Instagram at Havok Drums, and, just thanks to all the fans out there who might listen to this. And, thanks for all the support from everybody around the world. And thanks for having me on.
Hell yeah. Thanks for coming on here. I'll make sure I get your Twitch and your Instagram stuff in the, info for this thing, so people will be able to find you easy.
Killer. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, thanks everybody for listening to Havok and supporting what Pete and I do with our stringed furniture and our coated drums. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks a lot for tuning in. If you're still here, you are a champion of the universe. I appreciate you sticking around and giving your attention. Again, if you like the podcast and you want to support it beyond sharing it with your friends and telling people about it, you can go to riffsordie.com, pick up some merch. You can go to the Havok web store and pick up some merch. Or you can go to patreon.com/riffsordie and sign up as a Patreon member. Make sure you go to twitch.tv/Pete Weber Drums and check out Pete playing on his live streams there on Twitch. Give him a follow on Instagram. Also, in the description for this episode, I've got a link to that new Angelus Apatrida video for their song Indoctrinate. I just checked it out, and Pete is right. It is very, very rad. Great band, and if you like Havok, I think you're going to love that band. So check that out. Don't forget to send in your funny stories from concerts. I would love to read those. And any questions or comments you have, write them in to podcast@riffsordie.com. Thanks a lot for tuning in, everybody. I will talk to you all very soon. Love who you do while you can. Our time here is short. Live it up. Don't take anything too seriously. Nobody's getting out of here alive. Good day.